So they start stabbing this guy from all angles, just stabbing him. They got one in his throat. He's So the officer's like, everybody back up. And they're just stabbing him.
What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So if you're new and you're tuning in for the first time, on this channel I talk about prison, crime, jail, corruption, the whole 9 yards that has to do with the criminal justice system. So if you're new, man, hit that subscribe button and turn your post notifications on. And for the returning subscribers, hey, big salute. I appreciate everybody that tunes in to my content. I fuck with y'all the long way. So in my first episode I ever dropped on YouTube, I said you can be a bitch in prison, before prison, and out of prison.
Right.
A lot of people think that just because you've been to prison, you're living this gangster life, you're this gangster. And for the majority of people that are in prison, man, they're in there and they want to go home. They're not trying to, you know, do all this crazy shit. I want to talk about that because this gentleman right here has been on the channel before. I'll link those in the description. But you did a lot of time in the federal prison system.
I was just trying to make it through. Like my deal is try to come out of this without being stabbed or killed. Avoid all the troubled areas. You know, avoid the drugs and alcohol, the gambling, and faggots. So, and that was my whole deal. I just wanted to be a fly on the wall and make it through. I was able to make it through. Minimal fights.
So did being a jailhouse lawyer, though, that can also bring problems as well as, you know, make it smooth. So what were any problems that you ran across from doing that? Well,
most of the time, I'd say for me, it was like misunderstandings or somebody feeling like, you know, I'm going to pay you, and as soon as I give you the money, you're going to work on mine and only mine. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
trying to scoop you.
You know, like I got a couple other people I'm working on. Yeah, but I paid you. Yeah, you paid me, but I'm working on some other people's stuff.
That's crazy.
You know, my shit come first. You know, and like, hey, bro, listen, how about I give you your money back? Like, nah, you ain't giving me my money back.
Damn. So you had a guy say that to you?
Oh yeah.
What kind of guy was he? Like,
was a big old burly muscular guy that made me say, well, let me type your shit right now. So really in my mind, it was kind of like I'm not dealing with somebody on a logical basis. You know what I'm saying? You paid me, and you've got an understanding that I never gave you, right? And so me trying to talk logically to you is not working. You're on the mindset of I don't want my money back.
Their brain doesn't even function like that.
Right. I don't want my money back. I want my shit done, and I want my shit done now.
Yeah. You know, that's the kind of dude that's gonna get out of prison and go right fucking back.
Amen. So in my mind, I'm kind of like, you know what? Let me do your shit now and make a note to myself never to fuck with you again. And basically that's what happened.
Charge it to the game.
And charge to it's an education. Yeah. It's an education. So you get a lot, like, situations can go from subtle to fatal real quick.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and that was like one of the situations that went from subtle to fatal, because like in my mind, like I understand that you want your motion done now, but you're not due for a couple of weeks, so I think I got time. And two, the fact of I don't want my money back, you're gonna go do my shit right now. And when I'm looking at him, you know, in prison, you know, you look a man dead in his eyes, and I can look and see like this. Serious. Yeah, like this is
this is life or death.
This is gonna be like there's no way I'm gonna be able to explain my way out of this with words. It's gonna be straight physical action.
Yeah.
So then
you're right too, because that was the next step. That was like your warning.
So like in taking that in, I'm like, my answer was just do what he asked me to do, just so I can get him off my back and send him on his way. You know. What
would you say was like the thing in prison that caused the most violence?
I'd say debts, owing people money. It's weird because there are people that go in there. You know, there are people that hustle other people, and like
a lot of them.
Yeah, and they just feel like I'm So to me, I don't think they understand the consequences. Like, I don't know what. I know what I'm in prison for, but I don't know what you're in prison for, he's in prison for, he's in prison for. So for me to assume that I can just borrow stuff from you and not pay it back and very minimal is going to happen to me is a bad idea, because he might be in prison for murder. And somebody that's killed before would see you as taking their money as a death penalty offense.
That's crazy. You just got me thinking when you said that, and I haven't told this on my channel, but so when I first got arrested, I went to jail, and there was this dude in jail. I'm not going to say his name, but he was known in the county, right? Like he was knocking bitches out left and right. He was a big dope boy, a big ass cracker. I got in the pod with him, and his girl, me and her used to be friends, so we automatically clicked. You know what I mean?
Right.
We clicked. We're chilling. We're working out, and I didn't know I'm new to jail. He had already been to prison, right? So he's already got all of it, his programming down. You know what I'm saying? He's legit.
Right.
But I'm still learning, and I don't hear a lot of other people talk about this, but I'm gonna tell you all my fucking shit that I went through. So I did the same shit. I had money, you know what I'm saying? But he had like this Noxzema face wash, and in there you get broke out because of the water and shit. I was like, yo man, let me get some of that when we were in the bathroom. So he, you know, like 4th time, I'm like doing it, getting the shit myself, right?
Without asking, huh?
Yeah, and he's like, hey bro, check me out real quick. He's like, I know we're cool and shit. He's like, but don't keep asking me for that shit. You get money, bro. Order it. You know what I'm saying? And this was like my homeboy. So I can't imagine if somebody was doing that shit and you don't have like any ties to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which has happened to me.
Right. and when he said that, he was serious.
Oh yeah. He was dead serious. And he was known for knocking shit out. And I'm not a bitch or anything, but like I was like 18. He's a big ass. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll go order something.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. And then as I like move forward into doing time, I've been in the same type of situation. You know, I was the bigger dude, and I was telling one of my friends, you know, hey girl, check me out.
Yeah, order. And you got to nip that in the bud, because
ASAP.
people push things too far immediately. The debt I'm talking about is the intentional debt, not the, you know what I'm saying, using your coffee, because people go overboard with your coffee.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the like going to the store, man, owing people money and checking in type of moves.
Yeah, just straight scumbag shit. That happens a lot, though. And they know it too. Like, they know they're not going to get money. They know they're never going to pay it. And it's just, I think people get this perception, I think, that like you can do that in prison and get away with it. And you will for a little bit, but eventually somebody's going to get to you.
Oh, yeah. So, and like, I'd say that I got about 3 or 4 stories, because what'll happen is somebody from another compound will recognize you.
Yeah,
see,
or
those
on the
kind
wire.
Yeah, those people, you bounce around.
Yep.
But the violent scene I've seen before is like where somebody well, he was gonna check in. So this one guy.
Can you do that in the feds without?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really? Because in state, like now it's to the point where you gotta have like. You gotta almost like either be killed or they know you're gonna get killed like 100%. Because people were doing that. They were doing the slime shit.
Yeah, and the COs hate that shit.
Yeah.
The COs hate that shit.
Bro, when they deliver canteen in my county jail that I've been to quite a few times, not proud of, when they bring canteen in and all the canteen guys leave and everybody's like, you know, just getting their shit put away, the officer will be like, if you owe somebody, pay your fucking debts, because if you get smashed today, that's on you. It was just crazy, because you're hearing this shit, and then people will hear that and then still go do it, still rip people off.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know.
But I mean, that the mentality they have. I wouldn't. This one guy, I guess one of the storemen that had loaned him money, kind of got the impression that he was going to check in. You know, because they'll go full blown actor. They'll go Oscar on you and go up to the store like, what? What you mean my money ain't here?
Yeah.
Man, my girl put my money on, blah, blah, blah.
No money.
No money, yeah.
Never gonna get it.
or they'll be at the store and everybody's leaving, or they'll be knowing ain't no money there.
Yeah, they just go stand out there in the line to make it
look legitimate. So one of the storemen, I guess, had the inkling that something was gonna happen. And this storeman, I give him credit, because I guess he paid somebody or paid two dudes to smash this dude. So we're in commissary. And commissary was inside of a room, like kind of like what we're in, but there'd be like a window right here where we would shop, and all of us would kind of we'd be pressed in this room, hundreds of us at first, and then as they're shopping people, it starts to weed out. So you got to imagine like it's me and him and one other guy in here, and then one other guy is the guy acting like his money hadn't showed up yet.
The canteen window in federal prison is inside?
Well, it's, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You would leave out of your unit, go down like a hallway, or it'd be in an area and you'd go inside of a room.
See, ours are all outside. Like
Florida,
it's like
nice. You'd have multiple canteen stores.
Oh,
didn't you have?
We had one, and it had 2 windows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the whole compound.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they don't go to state prison, dog. You're gonna be hungry.
Oh, federal prison. I hated canteen.
Yeah.
Every week I had to shop. I hate this. I love having the stuff.
You get tired of it, eating this shit over and over again. What was like the main thing you went for on canteen?
Probably the coffee and like I do a lot of reading, so I like to eat hard candy while I'm reading. So coffee and hard candy. My soups and mackerels, because I skip dinner to work on people's stuff.
Yeah. So
I mean, I got into my own routine, so I needed like soup and mackerel. I would forfeit dinner just to get more work done and stuff. So it depends on my schedule.
Did you have support when you were in there?
Yes, from my family and one very good friend.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say it was a lot of money. It was probably about $80 to $100 per month. But I made like 7 or 8 times that, doing law work. So
what was the most money you made doing law work? I'm always curious, like how much these dudes actually make.
Well, people overcharge. Like I've seen a guy do a 3-page motion for $600.
What?
And it's not even that he does the motion. He copies it off of another motion.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's all plagiarized.
It's copy and paste, right?
Yeah, it's all plagiarized.
Yeah.
So, and just filling your name in certain spots.
That's crazy. What's the most violent thing you saw when you were in there?
I've seen people get stabbed. The worst stabbing I've seen is coming off the rec yard. It was a Spanish guy got cut up by a couple of gangs. So they had us in a bottleneck. So when you come off the rec yard, there's one gate. It's the rec yard, and then we all get out of one gate. But before you got to that gate, there was a fence.
Kind of like a sally port?
Yeah, like a sally port area. So they'd say, okay, rec's over. They're going to call the move. So what happened is the officer would go outside the gate, and he would let us out. So we're all standing in there, and I'm standing like let's say the guy is the light stand. So the guy's about 3 feet in front of me. So I'm standing there, and I see a dude pull his shank out. I'm like,
out of his...
Well, maybe out of his ass crack. I don't know, but out of the back of his pants. And they start stabbing this guy. He pulled it out. I guess, because when I saw that, I focused on it. But another friend of mine there was saying, man, I saw them giving eye signals
the whole time
for about 30 seconds.
And you can usually peep that, too.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even sense that. So they start stabbing this guy from all angles, just stabbing him. They got one in his throat. He's, So the officer's like, everybody back up. And they're just stabbing him.
What was going through your head when you're watching that?
Like, I was in shock. Because you got to imagine, everybody left. Before I turned to leave, the shanks are on the ground, and the guy's down there bleeding. And the officer's screaming at me, go, back up. Because I'm just like, what in the world?
Yeah.
I'm the last one there to turn to leave. It's like my friends calling me. Zach!
When you watch that go on, man, that really puts into perspective, like, this shit is no joke.
It's no joke. It's one of those, if you ever go in a mindset where you kind of feel like you're in a bubble, you hear, and everything is, all the noise is not right there. It's like outside of a glass or something.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying.
That's where my mind was. All the screaming wasn't happening. It was outside of some kind of glass bubble. I was watching the TV.
What didn't end up happening? The guy died?
Yeah, the guy died. And they didn't get anybody.
Damn, they didn't figure out who it was?
They didn't figure out who it was.
Damn, bro, that's
crazy.
They
brought in, the medics came from out. grabbed him, and they rode him to the hospital. I don't think they airlifted him. The ambulance came, and they locked us down.
Yeah.
But that happened literally like right in front of me. Just like I'm watching that. Like I'm watch. Like I see him pull the shank out. I'm like, what in the? And it's just right in front of me the whole time.
It's
That's
like
just
slow-mo.
They came in, like they backed me up. The whole, like that experience, like I had dreams and nightmares about that. Yeah, that was, when I'm standing there, it's the knives on the ground, or the shanks on the ground, him lying in blood.
Do you think like you got any like PTSD from when you were in prison?
No, because I haven't had, only like I'm reliving it now because I'm talking about it, and I might dream about it or think about it all day, but it's nothing that haunts me over and over again.
Yeah,
you know
it causes you to like go crazy and shit.
Yeah, no, not yet.
So did you see a lot of like, were there a lot of fights in there, or are they just straight stabbing people?
There was some fights, but the fights were meager. Most of the time I saw attacks, especially at the penitentiary. Now when I'm at the medium and the low, the low there's fights. There's like one-on-one fights, but at the penitentiary it's all assaults and attacks, where people will they come in and they like 2 or 3 people at once and they just start wailing on a dude, or they bring in locks and socks and go off. They always bring 2 people, one to distract you and one to really puts the work in on your ass. You know what I'm saying? I might swing on you like come on, and you're ready to fight me, and all of a sudden, clow,
in the back. Yeah, that's how it goes on in States. It's usually like gang on gang, or in they're like the Crips will beat up their own gang because they violated rules or shit. Does that go on in there?
Oh, absolutely. But like if it's gang on gang, then like I've seen that's fights.
Yeah.
Or that's like war, hand to hand combat.
Or body shots.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like I've seen where like they'll come up and say this guy's a snitch, or this guy can't be on the compound, and then dudes will walk in the unit. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll have the move, and somebody that doesn't live there will just walk in. 2 guys will walk in.
It's orchestrated.
Yeah, and they run up to you. Like in class, I used to be a tutor, so I'd be in class teaching someone, and 2 dudes just walked in. Like I'm teaching. Okay, guys, we're gonna start off doing this, and 2 dudes walked in. Like just went to work on some guy.
Oh man, what? So you're sitting there teaching the guy,
like, all right, we're gonna do adding or subtracting -1 with so so it depends on what's going on or how things go. So I've seen a lot of different, like I said, different assaults.
Yeah. Well, what have you seen as far as like the guards doing shit to inmates?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because at Beaumont, there was a guard that fought inmates. I'm talking.
Oh, I've seen one of them too.
Like one-on-one.
Take their belt off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you had this guy, and really he had. So I'm gonna say this because I seen him get bitched out. So I wondered, like, he must size people up.
He pick and chooses his fights.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did not like the Native Americans at all. He whooped them on a constant.
But then you get like a
big old black dude that told him, like, he's like, I'll go in that room, blah blah blah. He's like, motherfucker, come on in there. So then he went and got 2 other COs and said, I'll take you. And they didn't even do anything. Dude's like, listen, bruh, either you gonna do something or you not. That's what he told him. Like, I'm not even gonna talk. Either you gonna do something or you not.
Yeah. He was picking and choosing.
Yeah. So same guy.
Inmates do that too.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, bro. I've seen that happen tons of times where they'll pick on like some soft dude, and then one time
soft spoken. Not the dude is soft.
Yeah.
He's just like I'm quiet. Not a mouth. Yeah, I'm not a mouthpiece, bro. I mean, you got the wrong motherfucking one. You just don't know it.
Exactly. And then they find out, and then it's funny after that because then they get humbled real quick.
Oh yeah, they kind of like, I don't know why I judged that guy as soft.
Yeah, because he beat my ass. That's right. So the reason I'm asking about the guards is because in Florida, like, I mean, there's articles all over Google and shit, but the guards are killing inmates. Like,
yes.
Is that going on like that in the feds with?
Oh, well, there have been 2 guards that have orchestrated the murder of inmates, and both of those guards got life in prison.
What prison were you
Coleman.
at? This was at Coleman?
This is at Coleman. There are 2 articles. I was there when one of the incidents happened, but it was not an incident I was close enough to talk about. Obviously, guards...
I mean all the little shit, too.
Oh, yeah, because I've seen guards fight inmates. I've seen one guard that was arguing with this guy. The guard had to be crazy, right? Because he's arguing with this. It was a white guard. That's what it was. Okay. It was a white guard, and it was a kid that only had one leg. This guy's name is
Peg leg.
He didn't have a peg leg. He was in a wheelchair. He had one leg.
Oh my!
His last name is Singletary. I wanted to look him up because he was a good dude. They gave him a lot of time. That's another story. But he had one leg, and he didn't get along with this one white guard. And we used to make fun of this white guard because we used to accuse him of tweaking. Like we thought he was doing math. Oh yeah. He had to be, because one day he's threatening the kid with one leg, right? So the lieutenant comes.
You're hard, bro.
Yeah. So the lieutenant comes because they're going at it screaming. So I guess the other CO's called.
Yeah.
So the lieutenant, and I just happen to be earshot, right? So the lieutenant comes and he's like, listen, he go, I'm tired of that fucking dude. I'm tired of that motherfucking dude. So Lieutenant goes, well, what do you want to do? You want to write him up? What do you want to do? He goes, I want to beat his ass. Lieutenant goes, whoa. He goes, nah, I want to beat his ass. I don't want to write shit up. I want to beat his ass. He's like,
and this is in front of the dorm?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Like, the dude's got one leg. I don't give a fuck. I want to beat his ass.
That dude with the one leg got under that dude's skin, bro. For sure, bro.
For sure.
Bro,
I don't want to write him up.
Man.
I don't want to write him up. I want to whoop his ass. His one-legged ass, I want it down. The lieutenant's like, come on, man. Stop saying that.
So did he end up fighting the dude or no?
No, they moved him to another institution. But they locked the little one-legged dude up.
Have you heard about in the feds that, I forget what they call it, but it's like a dude like that, like the guard hates the inmate, and then they pack all your shit and they keep transferring you to different county jails.
Yeah, diesel. They call it diesel therapy.
Yeah.
I've heard of that, or I've met people
that did it. Yeah.
in diesel therapy, but you can't put anything together. That's when you start writing up a bunch of institutions.
Yeah, you can't call because your phone's not approved in the county.
And they just move you around, and you're just constantly. So you don't have stuff anyway. So look, going in their custody is horrendous, man. Like when I think about like being free, because sometimes I gripe because like paying bills, being caught in traffic. Ungrateful. Yeah, I get ungrateful. Yeah. But then I think to myself, because I'm like, man, when I was in there, I didn't have to worry about no bills. There was never no traffic. It was all just, and
roads were clear.
I mean, dinner was always. I always knew what was for dinner. But then it's like being in their custody is the worst thing in the world. Just having to deal with them on a constant basis, it's horrendous, man. It's horrible.
That's like one of the reasons why I don't want to go back to prison is I don't want somebody to tell me when to shit, eat, and sleep.
Yeah, you're right.
And how to do it.
And how to do it. Because not being able to get away from people that you don't like or people you wouldn't normally be around.
That's another. I talk about that in the episodes I do. Like, there was a point where like I would wake up in the morning and I would just be like picking who I wanted to fucking knock out because you have to deal with so many different type of personalities. And even on the street, like I keep my circle small, 4 quarters and a bunch of pennies. You know what I mean? And
that's right.
And because there's just a lot of shit that people do that I don't like.
and you don't, and in your world, you can get away from them.
Right.
Like if you didn't like me, you'd be like, hey, get out of my house.
Yeah.
It's not like I can come back and
like
be out.
I
I can't come back and be outside. You're like, hey. You gonna whoop his? What do you want to do? I want to whoop his ass. I'm just.
So I do want to get into. You did a lot of time, and I want to talk about what it was like for you when you got out and how you adapted back into society because a lot of people can't do that, and that's why they go back. So we're gonna have Zach back on the channel. He's a good dude. He's got a good story. Do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
Yeah, I want to say what's up to my daughter turning 14.
All right, what's up, daughter? And with that, it's DOC TV, and we're out.